Welcome to Mad Sports. I'm your host, David Hicks, and my co-host, as always,
Richard James, where we talk about all sports, basketball, boxing,
boxing,
but football.
Oh, you don't want to talk football today?
Good.
I do.
How about them Cowboys?
I definitely want to talk football this week.
Oh, we're doing strongman?
In fact,
Halfdoor's a really strong athlete from the north.
Let me call my people.
Iceland doesn't have a football team. Although Halfdoor did go to the Vikings and put on a uniform, they don't play. They lift heavy objects, but they don't play football.
Something stuck in here. It's not as loud as I want it to be, but you
stuck
get
in your head.
But you get the message. Hold on, man. You gonna hate on my boy Captain Kirk and the Minnesota Vikings, boy? This represents a curve-shaped L. Because we was giving y'all L's this weekend.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Calling on my Viking hordes and lords. I told you we was going to come into Dallas and pillage and plunder and slap and all that good stuff that Vikings do.
No, I'm relaxed. I thought we had a bye week. I didn't even see the game.
Oh, that's too bad because I did because we was over there going. Yes, sir.
We were too busy working
Eric,
our job.
the awful. The boy that came in there brutalizing people. What is going on? Y'all had one bright spot. His name was Dak. And other than that, the rest of y'all was on my trash pile.
I think we spotted you 14 points to give you an advantage and then showed you come back and
showed you. You can't even believe what's coming out your mouth right now because you saw the same game I did. And you know what happened.
Actually, I didn't see
Those
the game.
Minnesota Vikings
over here.
pillaged and plundered their way into a victory. I tried to tell you, man, before the game. You was all high and mighty.
At the end of the game.
Pillage, and that's what happens when you pillage and plunder. You about half of y'all die, but at the end you take over the little
something and run out of town as fast as you can because you don't want to hang around. And
you don't know about my people. The Viking Warriors came in and they. Yeah,
a warrior, nothing.
Because they
get a 14-point lead.
They're going to Valhalla. They died on the battlefield
and barely win the game because it was given to you.
Wait, win?
Given to you.
Win? You said win, right?
WEHEN. Win. When you come back.
We'll be right back with Mad Sports on the Valhalla Network. We are back. And I don't even know where you are. You're still in
Iceland somewhere.
Heck yeah, I'm in Iceland. As you can see, we got on our winter gear tonight because there was a cold freeze. Or as they probably say, the hell froze over because Minnesota beat Dallas.
But frozen tundra.
They got to have some kind of excuse. How you going to let them just walk into y'all's stadium like that and pillage and plunder all your women and your cheerleaders?
It was a gift.
And the touchdowns.
Enjoy it because when the playoffs come around, there will be no more gift giving.
And who said that Kirk Cousins was trash about 6 games ago? I just want to before we get into it.
We have to review your trash picks.
Not worry about trash right now. This is your time to be a part of the show. I'm not taking over yet. But Kirk Cousins right now, as I like to call him, Captain Kirk. So does national TV, but that's okay. He's number 1 in pass touchdowns. He's number 1 in passing yards. He's number 1 in QB rating.
Fantastic. We can
and
take
he's number one
game.
The low for interceptions. That's for the year.
2 games as a.
It's for the year.
Measuring stick.
It's for the year though. No, it's for the year.
Okay.
It's for the year. He's number 1. Let's just point that out. Okay.
So you'd rather have him over Mahomes?
Did I say that? We're not talking.
Making a case over here he's the best quarterback in the land.
We're not talking Kansas City right now.
Well, you're talking him up.
We're talking your guy versus that guy.
Sounds like I'd rather have Dak.
I would too because
Brady.
Look,
Breeze, Mahomes.
D's,
even Matthew Stafford.
Dak. Anyway, so I will give this. It's not on Dak this week. Dak can't do any more. 28 for 46. He bring that down a little bit. 397 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Which
This
was on
dude
the last
balled
Hail
out.
Mary.
Balled out.
Yeah, those receivers made some awesome catches. In fact, it was such a good game that the next day's top 10, half of the top 10 plays came from the Vikings-Cowboys games. That's how many highlight
Cooper had
plays were in there.
147 yards and a touchdown. Cobb had 106 yards and a touchdown. You would think if you look at those 3 stats, those 3 guys alone, you'd be like, of course
Could
Dallas
have.
won this game. Of course,
But they decided to spot the
Cousins
Vikings 14 points to get.
Cousins
go.
was only 22 for 32 for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's not great. Dalvin Cook, 26 attempts, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Not great. Not great numbers. But here's the big problem. 2 big problems. First of all, Zeke's got half a shirt on, 17 ear piercings and nose piercings, and he has not showed up all season long. Part of his game is still in Cabo with Dan Blitzerin and all them women. I'm just saying. There's partially the problem is Zeke. He is not showed up. If you're going to jump in the Salvation Army Bowl and do all this stuff there, you've got to show up. You wanted the money. You held out. You got paid. Now you sitting down.
I'm not going to argue that one because he did not show up last game.
Dude, where?
Yep.
And then,
The game before, he was giving a lot of carries. He put up some yards, but
there's
game,
no consistency.
no
You're
consistency.
supposed to be Zeke. We don't even say your last name. You like Madonna or Prince, Zeke. We just say Zeke. Everybody know who we talking about. Half shirt, nose piercing. Zeke. Eating all that. Nothing. He ain't eating
He
nothing.
doesn't stir, he eats.
He eats whatever you stir.
get
You got to
the-
stir it before you eat it. This yogurt.
That's probably Cousins.
You got that James Harden. You got to stir it first and then he eats it.
The Kirk Cousins move. I've missed. You've
Come
been
on,
watching
man.
him.
And then
And Jemima over here.
we've got a coaching problem. We've got a coaching problem
We-
in Dallas.
we do.
We've got a serious coaching problem in Dallas. How many years? How
10.
many years are y'all going to put up with halfway football?
It's been a decade of Garrett land.
A decade. I'm ready to move on if you are. And I mean from the coaching and this game because there's not
I'm
much more to
good.
say.
You've about covered it.
I told y'all don't want to listen to nobody. Experts right here. Let's get to the game of the week.
I'd say experts, except our picks were trash. this
They
week.
were trash because the Browns won, the
Yeah.
Jets won, the Titans upset somebody.
So you know who really won? The NFL, because now everybody's team they're excited about because anybody can win any given Sunday. It still holds true.
Browns, Jets, Miami.
Yeah.
And not Cincinnati. Never mind. Sorry about that, Cincinnati. I got
a little
overzealous.
carried away.
I got overzealous. Titans upset Kansas City. It was just it was a weird.
I don't know where the Saints went.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I guess they're
Atlanta.
gonna take Atlanta off the trash pile this week. because
Atlanta.
They may have resurrected.
Game of the week, though. Seattle 49ers
Yes.
overtime. Incredible game. That's what football is, what you want to see in a primetime game. Is Wilson your leading candidate? Maybe up there with Lamar Jackson as your MVP guys right now?
I think he's good, but I still don't rule out Mahomes and, like you mentioned, the other quarterback, Jackson, as well as your Carolina Panther running back. I know the running back has a very long distance shot at it, but he's putting up over half your offense.
Yeah, but he got
on the
super
team.
long distance.
He can't help that the rest of the team's not pulling their weight.
Seattle showed me something that they are getting back to Seattle football kind of. Let
Yeah.
Russell Wilson do what he does. Don't overplay the playbook and just play X and O's quick football,
But as
get
good
the
as
ball
it
out,
was,
move.
If the 49ers hadn't missed a field goal,
Oh, for sure.
it would have
and
changed
that's
everything.
That's
So
football.
That's what it comes down to. So I can't say it was all.
Jimmy Garoppolo looked a little
Yeah, he's actually the handicap for the
He looked a
49ers
little
at this
flustered.
point, I think.
flustered at the end of the game.
He had happy feet in the pocket.
He had happy
and
something.
was throwing off his back foot. He was dancing around, looked nervous.
248, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 fumbles. Wilson, 24 for 34, 232, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and it was a big one at the end of the game,
Yeah.
but he got away with it.
He did.
He did what quarterbacks do. You shake that off, you
seal it.
come back, you seal the game. And that's what he did. And he used his feet. When he uses his feet and keeps those plays moving, that's what he's always been
What
good
Dak
at.
should have done at the end of the Cowboys game. Oh, I'm sorry. We're beyond that. Not holding a grudge.
Pretty much. I was a little disheartened. My Carolina Panthers went into the ice and the snow. Kyle Allen, a hero game for him going into Green Bay, raised around the Packers. Just couldn't pull it off in the end.
Yeah.
But
He didn't do horrible,
No,
but
no. It was a
it wasn't
great
his
game
fault. It was a good
for
game.
that young team as far as the offense, because you got to think McCaffrey's young, Allen's young, and it looks like Allen might be their guy next year. 307 yards, a touchdown, interception. McCaffrey had 108 yards and 1 touchdown, but he had no explosion plays like he normally does. There
Right.
was no highlight McCaffrey this week. It was a tough game, and they did what they're supposed to do, and they shut down Rodgers. He was 17 for 29, 233 yards, and 0 touchdowns. But on the flip side of that, Aaron Jones, 93
he
yards
under.
and 3 touchdowns. He did what
He
Zeke's
did
supposed
what-
to be doing.
Exactly. He ate.
Stir your yogurt, eat your blueberries. I'm just saying. We'll be back with picks. It's Mad Sports. It's the Minnesota Vikings channel, and we'll be back. We're back. Mad
Matt,
Sports.
Oh, you were muffled by the producers after you called this the Minnesota channel instead of 409 The Heat Sports.
That's true, but it's been shown in Minnesota lately, as you can see by our new mascot, the Minnesota Viking ball.
This is about to be a single host show.
Yeah, bye.
All right, we got some picks this week.
We do have
We won't
picks.
even talk about last week's.
Why? I
record.
won last week, man. I'm coming back. I'm getting closer week by week, bro. I'm eating right now, man. I'm getting, even if they were horrible, every week I inch a little
chipped
closer.
away
What
at
am I,
it.
like 8 behind now? 6
Yes,
behind
I
somewhere?
think
8?
you're 8 behind.
Yeah, see, man, you hating, but inch by inch.
Okay, well, let's
the
see if you-
hair
let's see if
is
you
getting
keep that
caught by the
momentum.
tortoise. I like to start off slow and let you get a big head. That's why I gave you like a 20-game lead in the first 2 weeks.
Well, let's see how you do this week on chipping away at that. We'll start with the Steelers at Browns.
Dun, 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 dun. You know
Browns
what?
were victorious
The
last
Browns
week.
got a win. Baker Mayfield threw 2 touchdowns. And I saw 12 commercials of Baker Mayfield in his home. It's a great commercial.
It is.
But, bro, I
Pretty
need
good.
you to throw more than 2 touchdowns. We're going Pittsburgh. I like
right.
what Pittsburgh's been showing the last few
David
weeks.
takes the Steelers, and I have the Browns. I'm going to go
Oh,
with the upset.
Are we not going to have an As Did I appearance? I think we will. I
we
think
might.
we will.
On this next
There's no
game,
doubt.
we probably will. Falcons at Panthers, because I already know who you're picking there.
I'm going with Carolina. Bounce back game. I like what they showed against Green Bay, even in a loss. It's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs, but considering all what happened without Cam in the beginning,
So Panthers.
I hope Allen just keeps growing. Yeah, I'm going Panthers.
As did I.
As did I. James is back in the building, baby.
Cowboys
The
at
coldest
Lions.
Amish NFL picker in the weigh-in. Let's go. Who?
Cowboys at Lions.
Row, row. That's my lion roar right there. I'm talking Simba. I'm Mufasa in this.
No Matthew Stafford, and
boy.
he's still picking the Lions.
Mufasa in this one. Say it again. Boy, let me Lion King all over you boys. We're going Detroit. In Detroit?
He's going to be a little humble pie at this rate.
Man, that's what you say every week. I'm going to come out with a lion mane next week. It's just, boy.
Jaguars at Colts.
Jaguars at Colts. I'm going Jacksonville on the road.
All right, I'm going with the Colts.
All right.
We
I'm
got a lot
catching
of
up this week,
differences.
baby. Yes,
He's
sir.
falling way behind. Oh, here's a tough one. Bills at Dolphins. Those Dolphins have 2 wins now.
Hey,
2,
you know what?
and they're rolling.
Bills versus Miami.
Yes.
And it's at
At
Miami.
Miami.
We're going Miami, folks. Buffalo's going to go down there, get mixed up in that nightlife, talking about this is going to be an easy win. Next thing you know, got spanked. I love it. Let's go.
My heart likes the Dolphins as well, but logistically, I'm going with Bills. So, Bills for my pick. Texans at Ravens.
I want to go with my heart, but I'm going with what I think's going to happen, and I really like what Baltimore's doing right now. Houston
As
is
did I.
coming off the bye. I ain't even gave my pick, and you as
You
did I.
pretty
at
much
me.
ended right to it.
Let's go Baltimore. Come
All
on.
right.
I'm sorry, Houston.
Broncos at Vikings.
Broncos at the Vikings.
Come on, you're wearing everything the Vikings wear.
I don't have anything on Vikings right now, so I need you to slow down just a little bit. I am going Vikings.
Okay, we both have the Vikings.
No, as did I and
As
me
did
have
I.
the Vikings. I don't know who we both are, but he's not
This-
part of this show.
This next game is a fun one. Jets at Redskins.
The second tank bowl of the year. We got a lot of tank bowls this year. I'm going Washington Redskins.
Are you really?
At Washington. I like the new quarterback and what he's been
Yeah,
doing.
they are putting the rookie in there for the rest of the season.
Let's go.
All right, well, I have the Jets. I'm going with the other,
Oh,
Darnold.
yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
They beat your Cowboys. I would cheer for them if I were you. I'd, in fact, might even get some more green in your palate.
Saints at Buccaneers.
I'm going Saints.
As
They're
did
going
I.
to be pissed after they lost to Atlanta. They
I
go down and
agree.
lose to Tampa Bay.
Cardinals at 49ers.
Come on, man. San Francisco. I don't even know why you paused.
Yeah, 49ers for both of us. Bengals at Raiders. That's pretty obvious.
Is it?
I would.
Is it?
0-9.
Cincinnati can't lose them all, can they?
0-9.
Yes,
They
they can. We're going Oakland.
As did I. Patriots at Eagles.
I think this is going to be a tougher game than a lot are anticipating, but I am going New England. I think New England goes in there. and
As
gets it
did
done.
I.
I know you dids.
Bears at Rams. Another tough choice here.
I'm going Bears on the road. Trubisky might have woke up a little bit.
As
He
did
turned
I.
the TVs off in the locker room. He ain't trying to hear none of that noise anymore, and he's ready to go.
And Monday night's game. Chiefs at Chargers.
Chiefs need a bounce back. Chargers aren't the greatest team right now. I'm going Chiefs.
As did I with Mahomes.
As did I.
As did I. Showed up for those last 5-6 games.
Well, he had
So,
to because he knows he's going to lose in the first 8, so he needs to get his victories back up. That's our picks for the week. We'll be right back. It's Mad Sports. We're back, Mad Sports, here on 409 The Heat Sports. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. You can find us at Mad Sports Show on Instagram and Twitter. And
Just
you can look
follow
up
us.
each episode on YouTube on the 409 The Heat Sports channel. It's one of my favorite segments of the week.
Mine as well. I'm ready to kick back and
'Cause
see what
it's-
you've got because
really my-
half your trash pile won this week.
I know, man. I know. And you know what? Some of them are going to come off that trash pile at
right.
least for a week because I think I owe them that much.
Sounds
I owe
good
them
to
that
me.
much, man, because it's a week-by-week trash
I
pile.
agree.
And their names, a lot of them are already in that trash. So many. My trash is starting to overflow a little bit if I keep putting the same team in over and over.
Yeah. Sorry, Bengals.
Yeah, well, let's just start out with them. That's good you said that. We're going to go Cincinnati. They're 0-9. I mean, what more can I say? They're 0-9. 0-9. 0-9 gets you on the trash pile every time. We're going to go next to the Bills.
All right.
The Bills are 6-3. That's not a trash record.
I agree.
But you lost to Cleveland. Cleveland, you lost to Cleveland. You claim to be a Super Bowl team this year in Buffalo. It's cold. You feel manly about yourself in the cold. Football, no sleeves. Buffalo. You lost to Cleveland.
They are loaded with talent.
Trash. You loaded with talent that lost to Cleveland. Even worse. Trash. We're going with the Colts.
Okay.
Really? You lost to Miami at home?
Miami's on a hot streak.
Bull.com, you lost to Miami.
Fitz magic on the.
Fitz something. Jacoby, I going on the trash pile Brissett is what happened right there. The Saints,
Yeah.
lose to Atlanta. Not only did they lose, that game was never even really close.
No.
You allowed 6 sacks. Atlanta had 6 sacks all year. And you were like, you know what? How many sacks they got? 6? Let's go ahead and double them up real quick. 6 sacks. Drew Brees is not getting younger. Unless you just want Bridgewater back in the game. Saints fans, I'm sorry. I know you're not really a trash team, but you had a trash performance. So for that, my friend, on the trash pile to the losing of the 2-7 Atlanta.
Make sure you get those throws over our campfire over there.
Yeah, I saw that because it's a little chilly in here, so we got a full campfire. Dallas, your team's not on the trash pile yet, but you guys are inching closer and closer to that edge. But I will put Jason Garrett on that trash pile. All game, Dak is having a MVP type caliber game. He is throwing the ball accurately. Minnesota cannot stop him. You've got the ball on what, the 10-yard line, 20-yard line, somewhere around that with the game in your grasp. You can see the touchdown and you say, you know what I'm going to do? Hey, Zeke, bring your half shirt over here. We're going to feed you the ball because it's worked so well the entire game. Zeke was like 0 for with 0 for yards and 0 for talent and 0 for heart and 0 for everything, 0 for eating. He was in the soup kitchen line with no food. They had already run out of soup. And you said, let's give it to the left. Oh, that didn't work? Well, let's go up the middle. Oh, man, that didn't work either. How about the right side? No, that didn't work. All right, now we need to throw the ball. Jason Garrett, until you end up on the trash pile as getting fired, I believe Dallas does not win the Super Bowl.
You heard it here first.
And not really, because
Not really.
that's what everybody's been
Everybody
saying.
said,
Game
I was
on the
trying to give you
line,
some credit.
let's rush it. Trash. Jason Garrett. Let's move over to the NBA a little bit. James Dolan, Knicks owner. How many times are you going to kick out fans, legends, etc., for criticizing you? Your team sucks, and it's the New York freaking Knicks. It is classic NBA. I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I want to see the Knicks good because I love the NBA. And I remember the Knicks when they were good. It's Madison freaking Square Garden. And you kicking people out because a fan started a James Dolan chant. It's only a chant if other people scream it. I'm just saying, you kicked out Charles Oakley for crying out loud and wanted to fight Oak Dog, a New York Knicks legend. James Dolan, you need to do something because right now you are trash and so are the Knicks. And they're my other trash team. And because of you and all the talent you don't have, the Knicks are trash. If I'd have told you at the beginning of the year that the Knicks were my bottom trash team, who would you pick as the second team above them as trash? Not the Golden State Warriors,
No, I
but
wouldn't
that's
have.
where they're going. Curry's out for the year. Or as I like to call, we're tanking for the number 1 pick. The Warriors are trash, and the rest of the NBA and fan base are loving
They're
it.
building for 2021.
Golden State, you trash. They probably go get LeBron next year somehow. All right, got 2 left. The Fire Nick Saban fans.
Oh, yeah.
See this face right here? This face right here
That's
is
what
every
happens.
other college football program in America who has sucked for year after year after year because you, Alabama, have run roughshod over entire college football. Yeah, you don't win it every year, but you're there. You're like my team, Duke basketball. You're there every year. Every year. Do you hear Duke fans going, let's fire Coach K because we lost a game to Carolina or to Pittsburgh, we lost in the final? No, because we're smart people. Alabama, you and your Marion Cousins need to get with the program. And I said it because some of y'all have married your cousins, because that's the only explanation I have for you to want to fire
still in frame?
Nick. Come on, push him off. I take all the blame here. You can reach me at Mr. Mad Sports right now on Instagram. You want to fire Nick Saban? Really? Do you know what y'all were doing before Nick Saban? No, because this is where y'all were. Trash. And this is where you are now, those Nick Saban Fire fans. Those who aren't, you didn't marry your cousin. You're smart Alabama fans. But the rest of y'all who want to fire Nick Saban, you get trash. And my last one goes to the NCAA. I need you to get your act together. These kids, and I was one of them in NCAA regulations, so I speak this from the heart. I couldn't get a slice of pizza without having to watch my eligibility. I played in a basketball tournament the year before I went to college and almost lost my eligibility because we won a 3-on-3 tournament for like $75. And I couldn't even take the money because the NCAA said it would turn me into a pro athlete. Penny Hardaway gave $1 million in 2008 to Memphis. This was long before, this was 10 years ago, long before he decided he was going to be the coach of Memphis. He wasn't even in a discussion. But now you've deemed him as a booster because not only that, he also helped a kid move his family to Memphis. Do you not understand that some of these kids come from the bottom of the barrel and the only opportunity they have is to go to college, work their butt off because they've been working their butt off to get that scholarship, and now you're going to take away a kid's eligibility so he can't then go to be the potential #1 draft to change not only his family, but his immediate family, his cousins, his friends, maybe even his whole neighborhood. This pisses me off, NCAA, because year after year it's the same old story. Yeah, I get it. If a booster is buying kids Cadillacs to come to the school, get involved. But it's when I can't get a part-time job because I'm on a partial scholarship to play at a no-name school anybody's ever heard of. So not only do I go to classes every day, which actually athletes go to classes. Now, they're not always the hardest classes, but we get degrees. We go to class, and then we work out nonstop. We got a full-time job to make this no-name school thousands and sometimes millions of dollars, and that's the bottom of the barrel schools. I'm not talking the Alabamas and the Dukes and the Carolinas and the Pittsburghs, Kentuckys, school after school that gets millions of dollars in revenue, in snack money, in coaches endorsements, in Nike, and this and that, and you get mad at a kid for taking a pizza. That's how ridiculous it's been. He helped somebody move his family. NCAA, I'm tired of it. Something needs to change. So you're my biggest trash of the year, and that's David's trash pile of the week. We'll be right back with Mad Sports. We are back, Mad Sports, here on 409 The Heat Sports YouTube channel. Well, we've talked about them every week, the so-called experts power rankings, and we told y'all last week we would have them for y'all this week. It is our official Mad Sports power rankings. We will have 2 lists. So you can compare and contrast and see what you think about the list we've made.
In my opinion, you can take pretty much top 5 to 10 teams and throw them in a bucket and just draw them out.
You can throw them in a cookie jar if you want to, but they're gonna come out stale out of that cookie jar because it's old as old as that real authentic Vikings helmet that I got.
Well, what you got over there?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
You want me to go 10-1?
Or we can go 10-10, 9-9, 8, whatever you want to do.
Let's go 10-10, 9-9, 8-8. That. I like it. I'm gonna go number 10. My 10th team, the 6-3 Bills. You lost a close one to New England. You lost to Cleveland and Philadelphia. I think if they wouldn't have had those 2 losses to especially the last one to Cleveland, I might have them a little higher. But my number 10 team is the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going Cowboys at 10.
I knew you
Dallas Cowboys. They
squeeze.
should be number one because we've been spotting every team in that first half, 14, 24, 30 points, and still bringing it down to the last second for the game to be
Well,
decided.
you're stuttering all
So
over
we
that because
quit
you don't even
spotting
believe
you.
that yourself.
We quit spotting you so many points and actually start playing in the first quarter, it's going to be a different game. But yeah, Cowboys, number 10, they have so much talent that they just can't be overlooked.
Spoiler alert, the Cowboys are not in my list.
Yeah, well, the Bills aren't in mine, so
Cool. My number 9 team. This might be a little low on a lot of people's power rankings, but I have the Chiefs at 6-4. They beat the Ravens, beat Minnesota. It's their only 2 real big wins of the season. So I'm not really sold on Kansas City right now, and they just to me are kind of up and down with we're really good one week and we're okay the next. So I don't think they have consistency right now. And with Mahomes being semi-injured so far all season, I have them as my number 9 team.
all right. Well, I put the Vikings at 9 simply because they beat the Cowboys. I'll give them an edge, even though I don't think they're any better than the Cowboys. But they have been
are.
playing well. They have Dalvin
But
Cook.
technically they are because they
So-
just won over
Yeah,
the
we'll figure this out in the playoffs.
We'll take that. You're right.
But for now, I'll give the Vikings the 9 spot.
I love it. I'm going with the hometown favorite around here. Besides those Cowboys, I'm going the Texans at number 8. I have them over the Chiefs because they beat the Chiefs this year. They had a close 2-point loss early in the season to the Saints. They lost to Carolina, which Carolina at the beginning of the year looked like a trash team, but has they're in that middle of the pack with everybody else. And they also lost to the Colts. But they beat Kansas City, they beat Oakland, they beat the Chargers, and Deshaun Watson is having MVP type of numbers.
is.
So they're not very high ranked, but I got them at number 8.
I've got the Packers at 8 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little lower than some people put them, but they're
Wow.
not consistent yet.
That's why it's a mad sports power ranking. I
Some
like
weeks they look like they could win the Super Bowl. Other
Yeah.
weeks they look like anyone could beat them. So, yeah, they haven't put it all together yet. It has been the Aaron show back there with both Rodgers and Jones, but it's number 8 for me. What you got at 7?
I like it. I've got number 7. I've got those Vikings at 7-3. Beat Oakland, beat Philadelphia, beat Dallas, which I think Dallas is a big victory for them because I actually had Dallas at number 11. And they had a close loss to Kansas City. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins is playing right now.
He is.
And that's why I've got them so high. If Kirk Cousins wasn't having the kind of season he is right now and leading the categories he is, I don't think they'd be near as good, but I like what's coming out of Minnesota right now. I'm going with the Vikings at number 7.
Well, I have the Chiefs at 7. Mahomes is back full strength, but I don't know, their defense just hasn't been.
Suspect.
Yeah, it just hasn't been there. So they can't win without a decent defense. They
No.
they won't go very far. So 7 for the Chiefs.
7 for the Chiefs. I have those New Orleans Saints at number 6, 7-2. Big wins over Houston, Seattle, but you lost to Atlanta and you lost to the Rams. That loss to Atlanta to me just didn't make any sense. And I get it, everybody has off weeks, but man, to give up 6 sacks like that and you were at home, no. I just they would have been to me a lot higher with that. You know, they've been 8-1
Right.
with a healthy Drew Brees back. So yeah, at number 6 I have the Saints.
I have the Texans at 6.
Oh, nice.
Deshaun Watson, he's
Deshaun.
playing like the MVP. And so this weekend's going to be a real telltale. They'll either hold their position or
Huge
plummet.
game.
It's a
Huge game
huge
for them.
game. But for right now, their O-line's doing a little better, giving them a little more protection. So, and the run game showed up a little bit. So we'll see if they can continue to pull the pieces together. So I have them at 6.
I like it. I have the Patriots at 5. Now, people are already got on to me and said that was super low for them. They are 8-1, but the only good win they have really is over a halfway Pittsburgh. I mean, they've beaten kind of nobody.
You don't have to share anymore because I have them at the same ranking.
As did I, James.
did I,
Shows
as
in the
appeared.
power rankings. I knew we'd see him later today again.
So as did I. placing the Patriots in the 5th spot.
I mean, they beat Pittsburgh and they beat
Great
the Bills.
coaching, great defense, but
The big team they played
right.
blew them out.
yeah. So this next week's going to be another test for them. We'll see. Then they have the Cowboys, so that'll be a true test. Anyway, go ahead with number 4.
We'll figure out how to bring George Washington in this mug that night. I have number 4. I have the Packers. Yes, I do see the inconsistencies, but the way the two Aarons are playing right now, the D is showing up enough. They beat Carolina, they beat Dallas, they beat Minnesota, Oakland, the Chiefs. They've got a big game upcoming versus San Francisco, so we're really going to see what they're really made of. But for right now, I have the 8-2 Packers at number 4.
All right, I have at 4 the Saints. I know they blew it this past weekend. I don't know what happens, but every team pretty much throws one away.
Not
in a
to Atlanta,
season,
they don't.
But the Cowboys threw one away to the Jets. It happens.
Yeah.
So I don't think that should take them down too far. You still have Drew Brees back there, Kamara. I mean, there's so much talent. I'm sticking with the Saints at 4.
I'm with it. I've got at number 3, even though it's only their first loss, but I have the San Francisco 49ers at 8-1. To me, that loss told a tale of Jimmy Scared Happy Feet Garoppolo. I've been thinking all year, is Garoppolo for year? Is he for real? What will he do in the clutch? What will he do when the game is on the line? And yes, he made some good throws and he did become poised toward the end of the drives. But man, there was 3-4 times where Seattle just dropped open picks to end the game. So yeah, right now I've got the 49ers at number 3, losses to Seattle. They beat Pittsburgh, Carolina, Rams. They haven't played a lot of people yet. Well, and Seattle gave them all they wanted.
I went opposite you. I put Seahawks at number 3. I think they're really playing well, but again, that 49ers game was a field goal difference at the end, and they should have won.
It was a field goal difference, but
the defense
in my opinion,
for the 49ers proved to me last night that they are for real.
Yeah,
and
I'm with that.
Being that team.
But I really feel like Seattle was 2 dropped interceptions away from ending that thing before it even went overtime.
Yeah.
So that's why my number 2 team is Seattle Seahawks. They're 8-2. They beat San Francisco, Pittsburgh, the Rams, and right now they've got an MVP caliber quarterback. He's playing great. The defense is looking strong. Seahawks are my number 2.
And my number 2 are the 49ers, so we just flip-flop there.
Just flip it.
So we need a rematch is what we're saying between the
Seahawks
and the 49ers.
And we might see it.
We might see it. So I guess we have a consensus on number 1.
As did I, is with me again.
We should all see what number 1 has to be.
Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens.
7-2. They smashed the Patriots. They do have a loss to Kansas City and a fluke loss to Cleveland, which is kind of like your New Orleans loss to Atlanta. They went into Seattle and won, which is a huge accomplishment. And right now, Lamar Jackson is not only balling out of control, but after hearing his comments to Harbaugh on the sidelines that we're hearing all over Instagram, and they're showing that clip, and of course they're going to show it over and over again. But with him, you could just hear the heart and the passion he has for the game. He wants to put this team on his shoulders. And he said, man, not only does he love his team, but he's just trying to win a Super Bowl, coach. When I hear a guy just say, man, I'm just trying to win a Super Bowl, coach. When you hear that, man, I'm rooting for him. Come on, Baltimore. You just try and win a – yeah, ain't got one since a murderer was there. I'm just saying. Let's try and win a Super Bowl, coach. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, so Mad Sports picks the Ravens.
Mad Sports picks the Ravens.
And we love you, Ray Lewis.
I do. I do. That's our power rankings for the week. Toward the end of the year, we'll do another power rankings when we get right before playoffs.
That sounds good.
So we hope you're enjoying the episode, and we'll be right back with Richard's Rants. We're back.
Are you enthusiastic or what?
We're back, mother. All right, man. Let's go, man. Let's get into it, man. It's your turn to shine, as did I. Richard.
After your heartfelt rant, which was very good and during the trash segment, I can't say too much, but my rant's just
well, good. Let's get out of here. Good night, everybody.
It's going to be very quick, but you know what? I'm tired of all the traveling, carrying, walking, running up and down the court in NBA basketball.
Oh man,
hey.
Look, it's 5 steps. 5 steps is 5 steps. What's the big deal?
We'll call it football or rugby, But come on, every single player carries on almost every single play.
Yeah, it's
and then
bad.
you've got people that say, and one of our producers back there brought this up before, oh, the athletes back then weren't as athletic as the athletes today. Well, if you would apply the rules to today's game that you did back then, you wouldn't have so fancy dribbling and ability. If you get rid of the Euro step and the gather the ball rule where you can run 20 steps before you get both hands on it, then take a few more steps.
It's getting a little ridiculous.
It's a little ridiculous. Let's get the skill back. You wonder why defense can't play because the guy's running down the court holding the ball up. If you put the ball on the floor, the defense can have more shots at steals.
Yep, that's
It's
true.
it's gotten out of control. And here's the sad part: it's trickling down to the collegiate level, and you're seeing it more and more in the collegiate level. It used to be if the ball was weightless, you're carrying.
Yeah.
That's a penalty, and they can put a stop to it because in the NBA they used to swat the ball out of the net, and so now they call delay of game, and they don't do that anymore. But what you're doing with those younger players, because not every player is going to make it to the NBA, a lot play international ball. They're used to carrying the ball, now they have to go overseas, and they're getting called for it.
Yeah.
It's hurting their chances and their performance. So I'm a little tired of this running up and down the court, fancy movements with the ball.
They're like juggling.
Yeah, let's go back to the old days, a little more skill. Show me those dribbling skills.
Are you
Let's see it.
saying James Harden is taking more than 2 steps?
Well, he's got the Euro step he can do. He can do the gather the ball move. By the time he gets all that in, he's still legal by NBA standards. I mean, your refs are like that blind ref we had on the show the other
Oh, he
couple
hadn't
weeks
seen
ago.
it travel since the
Yeah,
1960s.
Exactly. So back in the 60s and 70s, it's not that those players were less athletic. They were playing by the rules. It was a different game. Now, I'm not saying go back to the 40s where it's bounce the ball straight up and down like this all the way down the court, but you can still show some dribbling prowess without having to carry.
It has, normally I'm a little quieter in Richard Rants, but you in one of my subjects with basketball. It's
share.
gotten a little ridiculous.
I'm glad you agree.
Even in pickup games, you'll see a guy and he'll literally, like the other day, just last night we tied a guy up and we were going to tie him up, and instead of tying him up, I said, hey, just trap him and then act like you're going to tie him up and then reach away from him. And we did, and he literally took the ball and he spun all the way around. I called travel. He said he ain't travel. What you mean he
he
ain't
gets
travel?
3 pivot foot moves.
The pivot foot is no longer a part of the game.
It's not. There's no pivot foot.
It's pivot feet. I use my pivot feet. Come on, man. It's gotten so bad it's all the way down to the little leagues, and that's how they're teaching them. That step back. Now, if you can step back, I get it. There's a step back, but that double Holy Ghost anointed step back, I feel like they're getting the Holy Ghost. T.D.
agree.
Jakes is coaching out there, man.
And it's changing the game.
Yeah.
It's making it completely different. So
Well, it's hard to guard. Like
Yeah.
you said, the scores are up because you can't guard anybody.
when these guys are 6'8" with a wingspan of 30 feet,
You already can't-
Because it's like you take 5 steps and you're at the goal.
Well, you already can't hand check them.
Exactly.
Dude from Toronto the other day took 2 dribbles and 17 steps.
Scores are going to be 200 to 193.
It's crazy.
It's
You're
crazy.
right.
I know people love the play, the flashy play, and high
you can still
scoring,
have that.
But you can still have that. It
Still
just
have that.
involves more skill. It allows those that like defense will get more of that and more opportunity. It'll allow people that hustle, the players that hustle on the defensive end, to be noticed.
We
more.
ought to film our producer. He's got it down. I'm just saying.
He was giving a demonstration
Yeah,
behind
the
the
demonstration is wonderful.
camera. It was good.
The 3-step, 7-step, step back cross. And it's so bad. It's the stars that are doing it.
It's the star, exactly.
And that's
who
what everybody
everyone
else does.
emulates, and it's impacting the game, and not in a good way. So
Yeah, for
that's my
sure.
rant.
And all those footsteps and talking you hear in the background is our 7 steps.
Yeah.
Traveling.
I don't think he's put the ball on the floor yet. He's just running back and forth.
Well, because you hadn't heard
I haven't
dribbling.
heard dribbling, but it's still legal in the NBA, so you're all good.
We're going to get back in just a few minutes. We're going to be talking to college football, the big game, LSU versus Alabama, our last segment of the show. Hope you enjoyed it. It's Mad Sports. Hey, look, it's David here and Richard. We just want to tell y'all real quick, Mad Sports is going to be one of the sponsors. Every year, I do the Make It Matter toy drive with my DJ partner, DJ Hug. We used to do the Make It Matter show together, and for 4 years now, we've done the Make It Matter toy drive here in Port Arthur at the Walmart. This year, it's December 7th. It's going to be big sponsored this year by, of course, Mad Sports, our show. The main sponsor is the Fit Lab out of Nederland, Texas, Rose Gold Designs, DJ Man TV, and 409 The Heat Sports, all in association with Toys for Tots and Walmart. Every year we get together and we do this Make It Matter toy drive to just give toys to kids that are not going to have a Christmas. All over America and all over the world, there is kids that won't have a Christmas unless we help out. So it's something that was on my heart years ago to do. So every year now we do the Make It Matter toy drive. So this year it's December 7th. It'll be at the Port Arthur Walmart off of Twin City Highway, starting about 10 o'clock. All you got to do is bring some toys out. If you want to bring a cash donation, we go in as we get and we buy more toys. We'll be out there till about 5, 6 o'clock, about dark. Just come out and hang out with us, man. We'll have some food out there. We'll have some candy and stuff for the kids. DJ Hug will keep it live with music, and I'll be doing what I do best, and that's talking mess on the microphone. We hope y'all come out and join us. It's our 4th annual Make It Matter toy drive. We are back. Mad Sports is our last segment of the show.
I know you're loving the show, but we got to end it sometime because it's like a freezer in here.
Yeah, we're a little cold tonight. He fired his heater guy. Well, they fired the heater guy in Texas.
That was an issue with the bank account.
People in Chicago are watching this go, y'all a bunch of, yeah, well, we are because we're used to 85. All right, college football. Let's get into the big upset of the week.
Yeah.
Minnesota beat Penn State.
Yeah,
Next.
that was a good night.
Baylor took 3 overtimes to beat TCU. Next. But there was a big game from what I've heard. LSU, Alabama, the biggest game of the college football season. I'm just going to say number 1 and number 2.
That's what I saw.
Even though it was 2 and 3 or whatever nonsense they were trying to spill before. I'm saying the number 1 team and number 2 team in the nation fought.
They hooked it up.
And they hooked it up. Alabama did the Dallas Cowboy motive and spotted them 23 points in the second quarter.
You know when
it looked like it was going to be just a rout, man.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
But you know when that game ended? It's when Alabama scores first, they've won 32 consecutive games. When they were driving down and then turned the ball over right before scoring, and then LSU went down and scored, that was it.
Yeah. 46-41.
For all those superstitious fans.
Joe Burrow, 31 for 39. He missed 8
Heisman
passes.
leading candidate, I'm saying.
393 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know, he only missed 8 passes. On the flip side, Tua was 21 for 40, threw the ball a lot more, missed a lot more, but he had 418 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And that's coming off an injury that he's not fully healed from.
1 interception. The running back for LSU had 20 carries for 103 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was just a perfect game. If you go down the stats, total yards 559 to 541, pass yards 393 to 418, rush 166 to 123. You can flip-flop them. It doesn't matter. It was just both teams came to play all they could. Time of possession was big for LSU.
Yes.
They had 34 minutes to Alabama's 25. That was a big difference in the game because all the rest of the stats are basically the exact same. Alabama puts up 21 in the fourth. LSU put up 23 in the second. They just went back and forth and back and forth. And what looked like was going to be a rout after halftime, Alabama said, not so fast. One of the best college football games I've seen in a long time, and they battled, they clawed. A guy I want to say off the losing team that I want people to watch for, Devontae Smith, wide receiver for Alabama. He's a junior, 6'1", 175 pounds. And he's put on a little weight. But he's super fast.
Oh, yeah.
He had 7 receptions for 213 yards and 2 touchdowns. Earlier against Ole Miss this year, he had 274 yards for 5 touchdowns. He's got 50 receptions on the year, 934 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's averaging 18 yards a catch. Every time he catches it, it's 2 first downs.
Too bad receiver can't win the Heisman.
No, that dude's going to be a ball player,
He
though.
will be,
Watch
yes.
for Devontae Smith in the league because this kid can flat out catch the ball and run. Dude, he
That's
averaged
a Mad
like
Sports pick, hot pick.
Yeah, I gave you Luka in the NBA. Now I'm
did.
giving you Devontae Smith. Look out for this guy because I was super impressed by him. And when I started looking at his stats, it was amazing. But yeah, I'm with you. Joe Burrow, Heisman. If he didn't win the Heisman, it's going to take everything he has to lose it for the rest of the
Exactly.
year.
It's his to lose.
It's his to lose.
And I'd like to see this matchup again. So I know the AP has LSU 1, Alabama 4, which would keep them in contention for the playoffs. But unfortunately, the playoff rankings has Alabama in 5th.
Yeah.
So Georgia, they have a big game against Auburn. They could knock themselves out if they lose to Auburn this weekend.
And Georgia's got one loss, right?
And they do have one loss.
To,
So does Alabama.
I forget who it's
But
to.
Alabama's loss is
But Alabama's to LSU.
LSU,
When it
and
gets to the
the
end of the
point
year,
differential
yeah.
is smaller. So I don't agree with the playoff rankings having Georgia above Alabama.
But I believe when you get closer to the end of the year, that's not only even if Georgia doesn't lose, I think they're going to look back. You got to think this is Alabama fresh off that loss.
Right.
I feel like they got to take them out of that
They
top.
overcompensated.
Yeah, they got to take them out of that, and they put them 5th just so they could sneak them back in there later. I wouldn't mind seeing this as the national championship game.
I wouldn't either.
Because these two teams just were on a roll. The entire 2 great coaches, 2 great programs. And I know if you're not a LSU or Alabama fan, you're probably hating this whole segment
Exactly.
because those are 2 teams people like to hate.
Well, the good thing is if Alabama sneaks back in there, Ohio and Clemson will both have a shot to show the world that, hey, someone else can take it. But if they lose, we will be back to
But
LSU,
if you
Alabama.
like college football, you love Saturday night. It
Yes.
was a great, great game. And you know what? I enjoyed the heck out of it. And I'm with you. I'd like to see a rematch. You know what I also want to see?
A heater.
A heater. Hey, it's Mad Sports. We hope you're
But
enjoying
this
the
show is hot, so
That's right. We got hot topics, hot picks, and hot Minnesota Vikings. We'll see you next week.
you were doing well
Yeah,
till the end there.
always doing well. Ask your girlfriends. Cut that from the